From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Welcome into Northeast Current on the ION Network. My name is Holly Golembiewski. We're on location today at 279 Bar and Grill in Plains, Pennsylvania, and we're going to be meeting up with former Hell's Kitchen chef Barret Beyer. He is going to be making some food for us today, easy things that you could even do at home, and let's go and see what kind of food, no pun intended, he's going to be making for us today. We're on location at 279 Bar and Grill in Plains, and I am with Chef Barret Beyer. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
It's a great thing because Chef was just on season 11 of Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
And how did you do?
I made it halfway.
Wow.
So I mean, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So for me to make it that far, I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah.
I was only cooking for a year once I got on the show, so for me to last as long as I did, I mean, I gave it my best shot.
Yeah. So is Gordon Ramsey really that difficult to work with?
In the kitchen, he's very difficult, but he demands perfection, and he runs a brigade system, which is something that a lot of us weren't really used to. At the end of the day, I mean, you're on a job interview for him to be his head chef, so I mean, you got to do your best.
He seems like he's a little bit tough in the kitchen, and well, a lot of it tough, and I guess he has to be.
Yes,
so.
He does.
But right now, you're co-executive chef here
Yes.
at 279, and you're going to be making something for us today.
Yes. You said you're not really too much of a fan of seafood?
Not really,
well,
but I'll try it.
I did a demo, a tasting last night, and I got 4 people converted over to eating my fish that have never had fish. Like, I'll never eat fish. They tried it, they loved it. So
okay.
What we'll do today is, anytime you see on a menu something in parentheses, it's basically that chef's version or like a bruschetta. So this is going to be my version of a Vodka Flamed Shrimp bruschetta.
Okay.
Your ingredients are going to be basic and simple. You can pick them up at any supermarket, Stop and Shop, wherever. What I do is I add chorizo in it because I want to give it to a little bit of a kick and also a meaty flavor. And then you get out your U8 shrimps, which are the big ones.
Wow.
Take the basically just take the shell off, slice it in half, butterfly it, make sure it's all cleaned out. And then what you'll want to do is before anything, you always want to salt and pepper them.
What kind of salt do you use?
Kosher salt.
Okay.
And then
what's the difference for people that don't know the difference between the kosher type of salt, sea salt, and regular?
Sea salt is more of it tastes like more like a sea flavor. Kosher salt, a little bit goes a long way. It's not like the iodized salt with the bleaches and everything like that. This is more natural. But the most natural salt that's out there is pink Himalayan.
Oh, okay.
So it's like one of the purest pieces of salt that you can ever have. It's actually phenomenal. Like, you can do a little bit and it just goes such a long way.
Right.
So what we do is we set up everything in a kitchen where it's called a mise en place. So that's why we have tattooed here.
I actually knew that. I knew that word. Yes, okay. I did.
Mise en place means everything in its place. So before we start dinner service, we get our station set up. We put everything in here, everything in there. So for this dish, what I like to do is I like to keep everything in the order that I'm pretty much going to put the stuff onto the dish.
Right.
Certain things have to be put in first, like for instance your chorizo, that's going to have to go in first because I want to render down the fat from that. So we'll get the oven fired up here. And when you're rendering down the fat from the chorizo, sorry, excuse me?
Sure.
You're going to use that fat to basically cook the shrimp in, which is going to add more flavor to everything.
Okay.
So a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to let your pan get pretty much really hot to the point where it's almost smoking.
Okay.
Because you just want to get a real nice caramelization on the chorizo. And then when we add the vodka later, you want to pull it off the heat because otherwise you just go up in flames. My hair is very flammable. I'm sure yours is too.
Yes, it is.
So just get the pan hot, and then once the pan gets hot, there's a certain sound you want to hear anytime you put a meat or a fish or anything onto a pan, and it's a sizzle. If you don't hear a sizzle, you don't want to put it in the pan yet because what it's not going to do is it's not going to give it that sear that you need to lock in all the flavor. So that's the oil.
Chorizo is more of a spicier type sausage?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of like a mild kick to it. This is like kind of like an Italian, you know, because bruschetta's Italian and chorizo's Spanish, so it's kind of like a Spanish-Italian fusion, I guess.
Wow. And that's what you want.
That's what you want. You want to hear that sizzle. And what I do is when I cut the chorizo, I cut it pretty much when it's frozen, because if you cut it when it's soft, it's just going to start falling apart. I don't want it. The dish isn't meant to be made like with just, you know, clumps of sausage. It's supposed to be made with dices like this, slices. So I basically cut it just before it gets defrosted.
Okay.
All right. Just gonna let the chorizo.
And you said you just started cooking recently. You haven't been a chef for a very long time.
3 years.
Okay.
It's coming up on. Actually, it just passed. My 3-year anniversary just passed. I started in September 2010. I started at a steakhouse in the Hamptons, at One North Steakhouse. That's pretty much, he taught me everything that I knew. I went to school 2 months after I started there, so when I got there, I was pretty much 2 months ahead of the whole entire class, which was good for me, bad for them. I felt like I knew everything when I was in school.
And you said that you started cooking because you were a firefighter?
Yeah, when I was in the Coast Guard, I was 1994 to 97. I was at a fire station for the first 2 years, and we had to cook our own food. So, I mean, firefighters, they're like some of the best cooks out there.
Oh, yeah.
They pretty much taught me everything that I wanted to know about food and love about food. And then once the fats rendered down, you want to add your shrimp to it. There's nothing better than firefighters' food.
Oh, yeah. They should do a reality show about that.
Yeah. I'll be the first one to sign up. You're going to basically get a little bit of pink on one side. You're going to flip it over, and then once you flip it over, that's when we're going to add our vodka in.
Okay.
And that's when it's going to go for the flame.
Yeah, so my flammable hair needs to move back.
See, that's what you want. You want it to butterfly like that. That way when you plate it later on, you put it on top of the bread.
Okay.
It'll just sit there nice and pretty. All right?
All right.
So when you add the vodka, what you want to do is you want to take the pan off the flame. What it's doing is now, it's basically...
Wow.
That's called deglazing the pan.
Okay.
All the chorizo that we were cooking before, it gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. That's called your fond.
Okay.
That's all your flavor. You want all that incorporated into the dish. So the vodka, we're going to cook all the alcohol out of the vodka right now. And once the flame goes down, we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. A little bit of red chili flake. It's going to add a little bit more heat to it.
It smells so good.
Do some cherry tomatoes. And then some red and yellow bell pepper. Now we add herbs to this also, but I don't want to add the herbs to the very end because I don't want them to start to brown.
Okay. I wish I knew how to do that. It would be all over.
It's easy.
Is it?
Yeah. You'll get it after a while. I'm going to pull that off the heat because right now what we're going to do is we're going to do the toast for a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. Everything pretty much gets salt and pepper.
Okay.
In the kitchen. Making my crostini right now, and what that's going to be is that's going to be the base for the bottom of the shrimp and then the sauce.
All right. And this seems like something that's easier for somebody at home to make if they wanted to make it.
It is. I mean, I'm not one to make a lot of complicated dishes. I'm a simple person. I like simple ingredients, things you can pick up at your store.
Right.
Add the butter. Once the butter is going to melt, what it's going to do is you want it to emulsify. Jim makes fun of me, my co-executive, because I say emulsify a lot.
Okay.
It's going to emulsify with the vodka, and it's going to keep that flavor on there.
Now, give us an idea of the types of dishes that you created when you were on Hell's Kitchen.
The one that I remember the best was the pork that I did. I did a pan-seared double bone-in pork chop, and it was cooked like to perfection. And that was like the only compliment that I ever got on the show. From
Gordon Ramsey?
I call them Grams now.
Grams.
Grams. All right.
Where do you live when you're taping the show? Because I know it's in LA.
You live on the set. You live upstairs.
Oh, wow.
There's the dorms are upstairs, and you basically add your herbs once the butter's melted.
That's so pretty.
Pull it off the heat. You live right upstairs. I mean, so when they wake you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you just gotta get dressed and run downstairs really quick.
Wow.
Now you do nice colors. I like bright colors.
It's so pretty.
Grab a spoon.
I know people always talk about smell-o-vision, but I really wish it did exist. It smells so good.
And then when you're plating it, you don't want to put all the butter and the vodka on next. It's just going to soak up the bread.
Right.
You still want a little bit of that texture and the crisp from the bread. So you'll put your stuff on the plate.
I don't know, you might convert me to a shrimp fan.
Oh yeah, I will. I've been known to do it before, so just want to coat a little bit of it there. And then once you're done with that, you could even take it one step further if you wanted to. Throw a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on it, maybe a little balsamic reduction.
Oh wow.
Just makes the plate pop right up.
That is an art. It's beautiful. I'm excited to try this.
I'm excited to watch you try it.
Okay, here we go. And mind you, I'm not a seafood person at all. I don't like seafood. Well, maybe I will have a change of heart after today because this smells so good. All right, so I'm gonna get chorizo, shrimp. That's actually really good. Okay, so you converted me on this. Oh my gosh. That is really good.
It's good, right?
Yes, very good. It doesn't even taste fishy.
No, I mean, that's the thing with the herbs and then the butter and the vodka, you kind of take away from that fishiness that it normally would have. So.
Right.
Like I said, you could add the balsamic, you can leave it off, you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's just another added flavor that's going to make your mouth pop.
So good. Well, we're going to be right back on Northeast Current, and we're going to have another dish made, and it's fish, right?
Yep.
Could he convert me with fish? He did it with shrimp. I guess time will tell. I'm Holly Golembiewski on Northeast Current. We'll be right back.